Hello everyone and welcome to this, the final game on the A stream, the final game of this group, and finally we'll know who'll be the top.
Yes, we are going to be getting into FaZe versus G2 in just a couple of seconds to decide who will be taking that first seed in the final group that needs to be decided here on the A stream at the group stages, not the playoffs yet. I'm getting ahead of myself right here. Those will be taking place not tomorrow, but the day right after. So we give all you beautiful fans the opportunity to travel into Berlin and even do some sightseeing.
That's it. It's closer and closer, and as soon as this ends, from that point onwards, the next time you'll generally be looking at us will be in an arena that it looks pretty cool. But enough about that. Enough about the future. We have the present, and presently we know that there is a fight here. Where's it going to take place? There. Oregon.
Oh, it's like we predicted this before the game even started without any further information that we had that wasn't on the screen or anything.
Give me some numbers as to what's going to go down.
Yes. Okay, so we have FaZe on one side. Everything has been banned by Sandbox, by the way. So,
yeah, they did.
Sandbox just decided. It was like, guys, the game is just for first seed. Sandbox, do you want to come in and ban for us?
Just do all the bans.
Right, just so Sandbox did the bans for them. And they're like, you know what?
Why do you want to see us play?
We want to go to Oregon. So, Oregon for FaZe has a 2-1 win rate, so they've played it on a 1-2 win rate. There we go. They've won it once out of the 2 times they've played. Do you understand now?
I understand.
Okay, there we go. So 50% in the last 3 months. They won 5 rounds of the defense with the 11 they played, 7 on the attack from the 12 they have played, so it's not too great of statistics. G2 won it twice out of the 2 times they've played, and they have a bit of a higher win rate. 8 out of 9 attacking rounds for them.
It's pretty good.
And they have won 7 out of 12 defensive rounds.
You got very soft towards the end there, and I guess, well, let's see how hard they hit it at the very beginning. Let's waste no more time. FaZe versus G2, and to be honest, the stake that I care about the most is the delicious one of who ends up first. FaZe losing points to Sonics and not being able to take anything from them means that G2 now have an opportunity to leapfrog them and end up in the first seed.
That's what's at stake here. As the music starts happening, we had a little bit of a party right before we get go.
Yeah, we started inventing lyrics for the cool soundtrack.
And at some point we'll be hot mic'd through the stadium or through the theater, and accidentally everybody will hear the lyrics.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Everybody will have to sing along. That is a promise you have to make.
Sing along with our German techno.
Cyber, you may be
the small tower king, but I am the small king.
Ah, no, there you go. The K's are coming out. They're both laughing about it there. There's a bit of fun in between these 2 teams instantly, and as the Ying gets banned, they have definitely seen what we saw the last couple of rounds.
I feel like this is going to be a very active chat. We sort of alluded to this in the previous game that, you know, these 2 teams have qualified. There's the intensity of what this can offer, which is first seed, second seed.
Yes.
I don't know if the full system's been released. I think it might have been in either the event guide or the rulebook. I don't want to quote anything in case it's not public.
Yeah, I have seen what it is supposed to be, but
well,
I'm
not
sure
say
if
anything.
it's public.
Yeah, because there's always, you know.
We are not Des.
We are not Des.
We don't leak.
We don't leak.
No?
We just don't leak. Wamai is the final removal. Kaid and Flores, the limitations here brought in by
Doki's having some issues. I don't know if you see that. He's worrying. Started to go panic mode a little bit there.
I think Doki has a lot of issues.
Being small is one of them. So.
He's taken that in his stride. Apparently he's the small king.
Yeah, he's a small king.
Will he wear the crown? The first place crown in this?
Hope that crown is fitted for his head in that case.
Well, it was actually Ben was the one that was wearing the crown.
That's true, yes.
In the fantastic video G2 did, which included them in a limo.
Yeah, they came here in style. Used the limo for about 200 meters.
It worked. They got out of groups.
They got out of groups, that's for sure.
Next up, Carlos, you need to get a bigger limo.
Or a helicopter. Just
or a helicopter.
Let them rappel into the venue.
A helicopter, a stretch helicopter. That's the plane.
A propeller plane.
FaZe Clan, starting their on attack here onto the side of Oregon. And as you said, Oregon is a good map for G2. They like to structure themselves around here, and I'm kind of curious what FaZe we're going to get. We had a little bit of a back and forth, and, well, with Pinker still being on the board, you assume it's going to be a little bit of a proponent. But to be fair, whoever's in the hands of Cyberzera is usually something that can end well for them. The starting site is one that's often seen as a bit of an offside. Obviously, you've got the stretch kitchen with meeting, which is a bit of a lockdown. You'll see a lot of teams will go for that plant onto the stage. They had Austin for a second, which entirely said it's a stage plant, but then swapped off to something where it's this. Look at Astro already in on the door, wanting to put pressure onto Split. They're ready and raring to go. CyberZero's getting some drone intel. I think we might see something quick in a second.
Yeah, this might just be an impact that hits right onto the barricade, and they will be pushing in double here. Nope, seems like a Gon 6 might be on the board.
I think
still getting some drone information. They probably just want to get as many people ready to go for the push as quickly as possible.
That's it. There's a barbed wire underneath. They're trying to hit both at the same time. There's the break over the top. In fact, the combo comes around the corner. Souls goes for the swing, but it's Brano, Citizen, and Brano. A triple kill and a woo from the other side of the room. They read it. You saw a yellow ping just come out just before through the side of the soft. The audio gave the giveaway. Oh, just saw the side of a very wide German helmet, but they couldn't quite get the full connection. The kit is cold inside Split. Cyber is cold as well.
The mood is definitely there for the side of G2 as they get the first round flawlessly. And now headed on to the next very soon. Probably will be downstairs, or might actually be... Oh, no, it's going to be... No, okay. They were thinking about laundry supply, but it's going to be the dorms and hall to come instead. And let's see if there's going to be another quick round for FaZe there. They saw an opportunity, they went for it, it got shut down, unfortunately, by them. Now G2 leads.
Need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Quick opener, but you can only really have an opener that quick if FaZe tried to do the same thing. They thought they'd read into a strategy, really wanted to go off with a pace, and luckily there was the ping and the collection of G2 to very quickly respond. They very quickly got the read on what was kind of happening around Split. They repositioned a couple of players on the back line of Kitchen. Prano was obviously tucked into that corner as he was before, and then we also saw the Jaeger around, oh, the Jaeger at the end, sorry, there was someone else that was around Zulu before that slip away.
Bomb located by attackers.
So, reinforcements being set up around the shower, and also impact holes for rotation. Citizen might be playing there himself, or possibly Virtue is still setting up some of these keeper barriers.
Attackers are moving
Provide a bit of
to defuse the
security
bomb.
from those wide stairs to ensure that if you need to rotate back, you don't instantly get taken out. It's a bit of a different angle that needs to be held. I start looking to go very quickly towards the actual bedroom there. Upside down, pal. Onto that door. Not quite sure what he's looking to go for here.
I think
Potentially
Alamau.
Games. Alamau's way too far out.
Yeah, he's gone around with the breach. There's Doki getting the opener. They had the soft. That's what it threw onto Trophy there, the angle, but they've pulled themselves back. CyberZero gone. As long as you can keep Cyber out of the game. Hey, there's the pickup. He wasn't upside down to Bell to find the kill, but he was happy to go straight forward towards it. Brings a very quick response. The smoke is off the table. The 6th Brazilian from this server is removed.
He has been indeed. The Brazilian that's playing on G2. A lot of Brazilians that have made it through to playoffs. 3, of course, Latam teams. Then we have XAT, who carry along 3 Brazilians, and G2 with Alamau. So it's basically almost 4 full teams.
Are you saying it's another full LATAM?
It could be another full Latam like finals coming through.
Hey, he's done well this time. Don't take
That's
that away
definitely
from
true.
G2.
No, I'm not taking it away. We've got 3 teams going to quarters. Who would
Des
have
will
guessed?
cry.
Oh, either way. FaZe, they got an entry after they lost one, but now he's taking Alamau off the board. Brazilian with some skills like their own. There's some smoke canisters as well that cannot be used right now. What to do now is find a small king and his minions that will be supporting him.
They have themselves a little bit of a stretch pop. His army barricade. Virtue is just going to try and hold off now for a little bit. They still have some extra room from the swing with the one tucked onto the close wall. Cameraman, he's looking for the Banshee that he gets on the backside. There is obviously now the push around the corner, but it's Doki and Piranha that instantly stop it. Swing round to meet them. Bullets up. Top of white stairs, pre-fires the angle. They're able to find one inside Pip very quickly. Virtue has another response. It's very well played, as he said. Yep, the flank on the far side. G2 aren't leaving anything to chance. They're making sure that as soon as they get a whiff of what FaZe are doing, them meeting them at the engagement.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as the side is starting to be attacked by the players of FaZe, G2 is there to make short work of them. And with that, the 2-0 on the board now. Laundry Supply will finally be on the cards, as I have been alluding to that side twice now. Doki is keeping score between Cyber and himself. Just to find out who the true king will be.
I mean, you know, Relax.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Listen,
many
Cyber,
bombs.
when you're one of the greatest players of the game,
Yep.
you have some people want to swing for the king.
That's what I want to
People
do.
want to swing for the king, and
It's a low swing, though.
it's a low swing from Durkee, but sometimes those hits are the ones
They
that hit
do
the hardest.
They definitely can hurt. Now, FaZe in that last round needs a little bit more patient. We're trying to work a bit more together. And weren't going as quickly as they did before, but you still got to say they lost someone quite early. There was still some solo plays coming through. It's not quite the same FaZe that we've seen throughout the rest of the tournament so far.
5 seconds left.
Still, early is the sort of proposition of this game at this point. G2, I think my favorite thing so far, as I've alluded to before, is that they're just kind of piecing together what FaZe is doing in responding first. They're making sure that that first bit of momentum is in their favor. Obviously, with the first game that they played against each other and it going into FaZe's favor, you want to try and get a little bit at that response. If Sonics were able to beat them D2, you kind of have to prove that with your history against them as well. Doki puts a bit of pressure on the small tower. Suffers on the way past. Do they know about Prano, though? That's the pocketed surprise. Citizen pockets Cyber.
His actual feet were sticking out earlier, Prano. So Doki came over, checked, and he's like, nah, your feet are sticking out. I'll take it a drone. But get in the right position there as Astro gets taken out by Elamau. Picks are just happening everywhere. That one was on a laundry staircase. Prano just gets up and takes down Cameraman, and that leaves it up to Bullet and to Souls now. As a 2v5 situation looking like G2 have this one in the bag, at least so far. Might be looking to find a way back into this round, but Roams are already headed up to the top floor. Souls, though, is ready to go for a bit of breaching. He just heard a bit of noise. He thinks he's being watched. He might be pressured. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's Doki to come around the corner. Actually a bit distracted by an LMG fire coming through, and it will be picked up.
Yeah, Bullet, he's now just going to try and push his way through. Obviously, the kit is cold. The Buck wanted to get an angle down towards anyone that might be on the stairs itself. They're going to hold off that, so they can kind of hope that if anybody did want to try and keep the kit in their favor, it's theirs to take back the breach onto the hatch itself. They're hoping, once again, this forces anyone that might have been in that position to rotate and move. They're trying to get a free gift. They've realized G2 is playing a bit of this lean into game, and they're hoping they lean into a trap that they can spring. But at the same time, G2's happy to play a bit of caution. They know that they're in the 4 versus 2. Alamau and Citizen are mere slivers of a bullet away from the end. So Souls and Bullet will have to pick themselves up and try and find ways to deliver those.
Quickly checking with the skeleton key. Bullet now heading down with the LMG. Bullets hatch will be open as well, putting up some more pressure. Smoke canisters to be used. We'll be wasting some time. One more in the pockets of Alamau. Also, Virtue holding that long angle with the ward, and of course has the glasses to look through. Isn't as obstructed by the particles as much as others would be. Deals a little bit of damage, but instantly gets healed back up.
There it is, the magical glasses that Virtue did so much work with earlier on the roll of the ward and in that previous showdown. It's going to see if it can try and piece some of these players apart. Alamau, he's close. He's ready with a shotgun. There's a second player stacked up on the pillar and on the door as well. There's a bit of a trade out, and there's one more. It's a 1 versus 1. He's on the floor!
The one angle they didn't check. No drone left to find out. It turned out to be a 5v2 all the way to a 1v1. And Alamau being prone on the ground, able to still secure the round. And G2 get that 3-0. There's a bit of discussion going around, by the way, on the FaZe side. Just seeing what they can improve on, and a tactical timeout has been used.
Fair enough. You know, at this point, it's... What, you've lost the full 3 rotation. Oregon, it is often cited as some teams by being one of the most balanced maps in the pool itself. You can try and build your own success on either attack or defense, depending on your preference. Here is the preference of things have entirely slipped away. G2 have built up so much energy. And sure, that one came down to the 1 versus 1, but you have to always piece together how a lot of those early kills happened. It was sort of single-person engagement, whether it was Prano tucked into the corner that he was at the bottom of a small tower, whether it was Citizen charging down white stairs and getting the pick onto the window, or whether it was the kill, not entirely sure how it came up, whether it was a swing up laundry stairs or down. Either way, G2 are swinging. G2 be swunging.
They are definitely swinging. You know, and as the wise man said once, I believe it was Corey, swing or be swung.
Swing or be swung?
Yeah.
Attackers
Put it in black and white.
Put it in black and white. Put it on a quote.
Put it on a quote. Put it on a move.
Print it out. Put it above your bed.
Put it as the background on your monitor.
Yeah.
So you always remember.
Put it on a poster card and tape it on the top of your monitor, just so you can remember every single time you're playing. Swing or B-swing.
G2. They built themselves a nice little bundle of rounds, and now they're actually back to the site that opened it up with an attempted rush. They're going to go back to the stage, back to the meeting area, not opt for dining, which becomes a bit tricky because you generally have to hold on to the verticality. Here we've seen a lot of teams adapt for something. They like to sort of have those wider firefights rather than the pinches, pull themselves to what is this big sturdy lockdown. The Ossa is on the board. Now what we assume here from the role of the Ossa is generally control over the stage. You stack it up onto one onto watch the attic and the other one to watch onto the side of the stage itself, and it's going to take some busy work from Alamau and some C4 to stop it.
So we could also see if from the opposite side, if you do manage to take split on control, then the talent shields could be of good use to get a plan down there as well. Of course, the majority of them always do come down from the stage if an offset is on the board, but it wouldn't be too weird to see a completely opposite kind of take to happen from FaZe as we speak. And as we go on, it is indeed the big tower that is slowly starting to get some attention from FaZe. 4 players all around it. Drones are now entering from above as well, trying to get some clear information. Doki, we take him out, trying to rotate out towards safety as the pressure is starting to rise.
Prano dropped as well. He was around the side of attic. I think they pieced together what style of push was coming their way and didn't want to get caught out in the clearance that comes through. Citizen's going to be a bit of a backline. Let's see if a Nomad pops an air jab just on the way of attic, but G2 you can see is restructuring that backline. They have an awareness now that the wall is going to be the next point of breach, and as I said, there's the first Ossa shield. It watches over attic just to make sure that if someone tries to swing around, well, they're probably not going to get swung around entirely. There's the pop and the angle. There's the idea on where players might be. There it is now, a firing range for them to sit behind and sort of say, come on, do you think you're hard enough?
Tolza is going to be able to open up now as the Mew Jammer has been removed, but he's afraid. The player coming up from the back stairs. Citizen is putting down some key members. A double C4 from Virtue. Finds Estro, finds Cyber. And that is going to be the Ossa gone. Of course, you can still open up, but well, you don't really have the shield anymore to play behind.
Yeah, I guess they thought they were hard enough or didn't even really need to play the game. The C4 came up from underneath. There's an air jab. Popped, and Alamau caught a little bit, but Citizen wins out the fight. The swing and the retake round on the backside. Doki pokes his head onto the other bullet. Is not the only one left because it's a flawless.
They're definitely enjoying this to the side of G2 there. They're just playing. Like, they're playing so free, so fluid. They're just able to pick up whatever FaZe is throwing at them so far. And of course, maybe FaZe, they say it's enough to be second seed. Maybe that is what they would be content with. As soon as they confirm themselves, they're just like, okay, that's it, we're fine. Don't need to worry as much. But considering they took a tactical timeout, and you can see a bit of annoyance on their faces every single time they do get swung by Doki or by Citizen or by Alamau, they want to win, and we said it before, everybody always tries to win one way or another. You might not play 200%, you might not want to give away your strategies any more than you already have when you're going into playoffs. But you can see there's a little bit of frustration on the FaZe faces.
I think the fun thing to sort of highlight at this time, for all the statistics, all the jokes, all the memes, everything that's been said about this G2 super roster, this is a super roster of fraggers because seemingly all of them are super confident to just take these angles and positions.
That's it.
They're playing with good spirits. They're playing in a good mood, but you never really know which player is about to pop their head up because at the minute, all 5 of them are firing on guns gifted and gilded by God, in this case, Carlos.
Yeah.
And they are really, truly terrifying. That pop there, you see, obviously, the C4 comes through, gets the double kill. Then you're seeing the Azami swing and retake the top as Doki retake the stage itself. Where do you look?
I mean, this is kind of the thing, and I said it before, one of these pro teams that play loosely, not as disciplined as they normally do, right? Like, you have a bit more freedom to go at it. That's a dangerous team to play against because they just swing everything. They just win these gunfights. They're very skilled individual players. And even though it might not always show up in pro play, if you give them that freedom, there's nothing that will stop them.
That's it. Raw skill, raw source.
Bomb located by
Doki's put
attackers.
himself into armory. Has to drop on the hatch if he wants to take it out as they move their way through. You can see Cyber decides to take the fight. This is going to be on your statistic, Doki. You got to act sooner rather than later. It's a 1 versus 1. Alamo goes down inside the site. The swing!
Oh, 2-0.
And there's the 2-0. Doki, is he going to try and retake trophy? Pre-fires and hopes the angle. There it is! Doki gets revenge. Gets
the triple!
Doki, the short king, stands tall. And it's Virtue to get the last one on the end of it. 5-0.
And the smiles and the spirits are high from G2. Even Doki gets a bit of a back rub after that one. And he's enjoying it here. Some more serious faces though on the side of FaZe. You gotta keep mentioning that. Laundry supply up next though. The last opportunity for FaZe to try and get an attacking round on the board. Of course, it did manage to make it quite close last time around. It came down to a 1v1 with Elmo down on the ground.
Attackers need
with
to
the shotgun
locate
ready
and
to go.
defuse bombs.
Let's see how it will play out this time around, shall we?
G2, 5-0. Screaming their way through this game at this moment in time, with Laundry and the lockdown on the basement as their end. Alright, technically this one I would say came down to one of the closest rounds. It was a 1 versus 1, but it was a 1 versus 1 from the end of a 4 versus 2. FaZe almost did some big work down on the swing of Freezer, and G2 had themselves stacked up pretty hyper-aggressively and were almost entirely punished for it. If there was a call and a read on where Alamau was, the pre-fire and an angle might have been a very different story there, but it wasn't. What we have is a 5-0. FaZe, will you buy yourself a lifeline? Citizen. T3 and a camera just tucked into... Where? I'm assuming you put it inside so it didn't get destroyed.
Yeah, otherwise it takes like 3 seconds.
Oh, it's just, yeah, it's
window frame.
just in front of the window, and Virtue is just in front of the door. By Astro, by Kick, cold and outside on the far end of a construction area. You can see Bullets making his way around to the bottom of the tower as much as possible. There it is. Just tucked so it doesn't get destroyed.
C4 gets tossed out. There's no one there though. Won't hit anything. Probably even blew up mid-air there. Drones get him though. We fall back all the way down to the side. Nothing really to worry about. Fuser is still cold on the ground. Will have to be recovered at some point, sooner rather than later, by the side of FaZe. Might be a bit worried though, considering the amount of aggression that G2 has been tossing at them. Full minute already wasted, still droning out the big tower here. Of course, not going to be the small tower with Cyber Zero as the king. Rough game for him, by the way. 0 so far.
Rough game. It's when you go up against Doki. It's what he can do. I mean, Doki's 9-1. He's really
unleashed.
sort of having a huge game. He definitely wanted to bring the heat, the kit. It's still far on the other side. They're making sure that it's not being watched and witnessed, and at the same time, they're trying to catch a player that might be in that position. It takes a little bit of restructuring. A little bit of that focus down towards it. They feel confident now, as to be fair, all of the G2 players have slunk their way back towards the side itself. A minute 20, there's still the hatches in place. At least there was. First gets cracked open.
So much time has been wasted though, like a minute and 40 seconds they have been looking outside, needing to recover that diffuser, and of course they know now there's no one left on the roam, they don't need to really worry about it, but they only just started opening up onto the actual site. There's still going to be a shield and elbow, there's still going to be G2 players all around it, so, you know, that is stuff you need to deal with now. And if you look at it, a single grenade left on the side of FaZe, that is all you have to get rid of Virtue.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Tucked around onto Shaiko corner.
Oh,
the gun 6 isn't going to do much in that scenario, but the LMG sure does. Gets the kill. The player is round on the back. Doki slips his way out of pillar. He's going to make sure he can strike a little bit later. Cyber pre-firing towards that single face wall as the destruction rains down, but it's Virtue to take care of Bullet. I believe that was controlled just onto. Elbow in the swing round, misses the head, gets caught by Virtue, who's onto a triple. Cameraman locks out Alamo. He's going to go for a close fade phase. There it is, misses, hits the X-Kairos. He's down to the bang. SMG doesn't quite get the full connection even, but it's Citizen over the top.
Doku with the support as well, and G2 are going to be able to close this one off with a 6-0 so far. Just a single attack is all they need to win now, and it's going to be a clean sweep against FaZe. According to many, by the way, tournament favorites, the tournament favorites.
Tournament favorites.
Very nice. And after the first 2 days, they seem to be untouchable. And of course, they qualified after that first 2 days.
I guess they were a bit shaken by the loss to Sonics.
Possibly.
6-0 G2, and to be honest, entirely earned. I don't really think that there's anyone can argue the fact that G2 are in the lead. I don't think you can argue that they're having a great time with this game. FaZe have been able to have some moments, and some of the rounds have got closer. But, I mean, Doki 10-1, Virtue 7-1. Prano and Citizen both pretty much on a 2.0 KD. It's just such a high statistical game, and it's a high statistical game from everybody. Like, that's the thing. Even though Alamar technically negative on a KD, the roles he's playing, the support he's providing, it's a smoke line. He clutched out the 1 versus 1 round.
I'm just going to say this, Emmy, and please, everybody who's listening, this is a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
The Brazilians are not doing too well in this game.
But the Brazilian is at least on one of the winning teams.
One of them is.
Yeah.
The 5 aren't.
Technically,
there's always going to be a Brazilian that wins here today.
Statistically, of this game, the 6 lowest KD are all the Brazilian players.
Yep.
Technically, that's just a number.
Oh,
Doki, do you know?
Does he know?
No, there's a ping. There's a rough idea, and they don't want to risk the throw, so they're just going to drop it, bounce a grenade, probably around the top in a second. Astro suffers elsewhere, though. Citizen's trying to find a loose thread, and the loose thread has actually got a bit of Cyber's support here. They're moving themselves towards Shower, looking for the fight. There's the spray through. Oh, no, Doki lives, gets himself a very needed pick back up, and he's going to pull himself into a corner and probably thank whatever kept him going at that moment in time. This aggression bullet now on the door of Dining, dancing either side, slips his way through in the second that the player's not firing at them. It's a big reload coming through. The calls are consistent. Again, Adamau giving that support structure. Doki gets a little bit more health into his bones, but they sort of tried to take a bit of land. FaZe sort of pushed them back pretty aggressively. There's the Doki, though. Swings round, gets one. Prano gets the next. And now Cyber, Souls, Cameraman, all that's left of FaZe's chances of taking a single round against G2.
Of course, Doki is still relatively low. Cyber still in and around a small tower. Is going to be able to knock out one. Doki will shut him down after Virtue dropped as well. That's 3-0. We still continue counting. Cameraman on the top of the white stairs here might be one of the last hopes of FaZe if they want to get around, but a grenade might be coming soon around the corner. It's not going to be dealing too much damage, but he definitely knows that they are aware of his position now. Souls together with him in the bedroom, holding tight. They can still shut G2 down in this round. It is a 2v4. It is clutchable. But with a minute left on the clock and G2 having so many positions in control, it could be the other way.
Doki, he was one breath away from being down by that smoke canister with the damage already done. They're trying to put pressure onto Armory stairs as well. Animo went round and collected the kit and dropped it on the door itself. Armory comes back. It's Prano popping his head up. Souls is all that's left here in the 1 versus 2. They're both fighting their way up a single stair set, and they have 30 seconds. No way to get to Alamo, no way to get to the kit. Souls with the rotate round. He pops a bullet. They know pretty much where he is and send their own message back. It is G2! A 7-0 take against FaZe to put themselves top of the board. Top seed EU, top seed G2. From a miracle run to get here, they still have a bag of miracles.
They still have a lot more indeed to go for the playoffs in that first seed. And of course, in a, couple of hours, potentially a day, we'll find out what the bracket exactly will be. But this victory is theirs. They've done all they needed to do. And with that, we are going to a break for one more time during the group stages.
One more time.
So see you in just a couple of seconds.
Paris, Mexico, Stockholm. I have so many memories. I had a front row seat to see Goga qualify G2 Esports for the final after an unbelievable performance.
On the best team in the world.
I was there in Tokoname, where Nello won a legendary round all by himself.
In the midst of a crossfire, gets one on the Diesel and a second one on Everett! Oh my God! Are you kidding me? The 1v4!
I was standing in that madding crowd at Montreal, stunned by the triumph of Space Station Gaming.
But it's home once again!
I was thrilled when Ninjas in Pajamas got its revenge in Paris.
Not bad.
To Alamau in a 1v3 here. He makes the swing, he finds the headshot, and not just one.
I witnessed LMAO's demonstration in Mexico when he led Team 1 to a consecration against all odds. I was fortunate to see Damwon Kia making history in front of me in Yavle.
First Korean team who are progressing to the semi-finals.
But did I tell you I even saw as a nobody TSM FTX became the new world champions in Stockholm?
They have a rematch.
This is it. This is my major story. And as an official hardware partner of Rainbow Six Esports, I feel blessed to witness them for such a long time.
Hello everyone and welcome back here to, well, this G2 7-0 versus FaZe. That was something.
That was definitely something. It's the only 7-0 we've had all tournament
The
so
whole
far.
tournament.
And, you know, where normally the Brazilians do quite well. Again, a joke. Don't dig it to me, please. I'm scared. 4 EU players at the top. Well, 1 Aussie player in there as well at the same time. And after that is all the Brazilians coming through. So 180 APS from Doki. That might be the highest we have ever seen.
I mean, it's definitely going to be the highest. He went 12-1, virtually with 100% cost as well as Citizen. Both of them, which if you don't know what that means, it means they contributed to every single round. Kills, played the objective, survived or traded. Alamau as well on the bottom of the board. A consistency towards the team. Just a stellar performance. FaZe, I mean, they're already qualified. And we'll see where they sit on this. The next screen. It was a rocky day for them. I lost to Sonics and a demolition by G2.
Now, as we end, let's just go through all these groups one by one. So let's pull up Group A to start off with. It was Exit and Rogue that have been able to qualify themselves here today. A tough day for Rogue, but also for the Ninjas in Pajamas. Eventually, it was Rogue that came out on top. Damwon Kia, who was able to steal some points away, but will unfortunately be ending on the bottom of the scoreboard with a -20 round differential.
And B group. Obviously, this is one that we've had settled, at least in positions. Now, G2 top it with 13 points. They started the day not sure if they'd make it. They ended the day pretty dang sure. FaZe, they get themselves second. No points taken today because they'd already done the business over the first 2 days. Sandbox, they got some, not enough. And Sonics, well, they got some. They're able to finally find a win. The end of Super in this with a nice double K. But from that point onwards, it's just watching at home. G2, though, I mean, what a performance to sort of angle them. The spirits, they're high.
Now, for the next group, we have Group C. Mind you, this one is still ongoing. There is still a game going on between Oxygen and Wolves, which could not really influence the top 2 spots, but could definitely put Oxygen over the Gaming Gladiators. That's some extra side points that could be up for grabs for the North American team down there, so you gotta keep that in mind. And to close it all off, Emmy, we have Group D.
We do, and D, obviously, we had Elevate as our first confirmed team, and Furia, they weren't massively far behind Eminem. They finally started to find a couple of wins, but those 10 a.m. games, man, we're actually talking to some of the people behind the team, and I think they said they have like a 10% win rate across the history of Eminem.
Well, they broke the curse, because today was the first.
Today was the first. Today was it, and it sort of puts them in a stead. Stralis as well, an unfortunate run for boys that had a lot of hope, but again, we know they'll be back. But that is it. That is the confirmation on all of our teams, technically. Obviously, there is still things ongoing, but as far as the A stream goes for now, that is actually it.
Yeah, so that means that the group stages will be concluding in just a couple of minutes, as we still, actually above us, have the B stream going on currently, the Bravo stream, so that's Rainbow 6/Bravo. You might want to go there after we end here, because they still have that game of Oxygen and Wolves to go on. So, that was it for us for the group stages. We will be back for the playoffs. Or is that a spoiler? Maybe, possibly, I don't know.
I think it's known.
Make sure that if you are traveling to Berlin, still stay safe. Make sure that you are also taking some of the time to watch the beautiful monuments that are here in Berlin. It's a very cultural city.
It's a wonderful city.
It's a wonderful city, and we hope to see you here in the theater cheering for your favorite team. So, with that being said, thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope to see you on the Friday.